Hey guys, I'm Grestar, and how about we watch a death battle? Mega Man versus Mega Man versus Mega Man versus Mega Man versus Mega Man. Yes, this is the Mega Man Battle Royale, where we gather all the different Mega Men up and we shove them in a room together, and we're like, you gotta kill each other. And they're like, oh, I don't want to, I like peace and justice and stuff. And you're like, but only one can survive. And so they're like, alright, fine. Now, I don't know all of the Mega Men involved in this death battle. I am at this point most familiar with the classic Mega Man. Again, if you're not aware, on my other channel, Grestar, where I post my Let's Plays, I've been Let's Playing a lot of the Mega Man games, the classic ones from the Mega Man.exe collection available on Steam. On that channel, I've currently completed Mega Man 2 through 5, and I'm going to be starting 6 soon. So if you'd be interested in watching me play those games, feel free to check the link in the description on my homepage, or the card again if I figured out how to make that work, to go check out my other channel. But aside from that, I've also played the majority of the Mega Man.exe games with a friend. So not like as a series on any channel, just as a friend in our own time. We played the Mega Man.exe games together. Lots of all-nighters kind of thing. It was fun. As a kid, I owned one of the Mega Man Battle Network games. I don't really remember anything about it. The most I remember is I think there was a hospital part, and it took me forever to realize that I was supposed to leave out an open window or something like that. Like, I just remember being stuck in there trying to find where I was supposed to go. And I believe that Mega Man is the same Mega Man as the one from a cartoon that I also briefly watched as a kid. Now, I don't really remember anything from the cartoon, but I remember really enjoying that. I just remember really enjoying it. It was like my first introduction really to Mega Man, and I thought it was super cool at the time. Like, I played it live action with my friends, imaginary games, that kind of thing. So it was fun. I think that there are 2 more involved in this death battle, though. To my knowledge, there are 5 in total. And if that's not the case, that's gonna make the intro pretty awkward. But I believe there's one from an older cartoon, and then one from a newer cartoon, like an even newer one, I think? I'm not sure. But I really don't know, like, that's all that I really know about them. As far as, like, necessarily capabilities and stuff like that, I don't know. I remember vaguely some feats from, like, having watched, Mega Man vs. Astro Boy, regarding the classic Mega Man, and then having played the games, like seeing him hold up Wily's Fortress and all that kind of stuff, but I don't know how that compares to any of the other Mega Man feats, so with that, let's get to watching. And play.
Hey, we've got access to all sorts of personalized data, and
yeah.
23andMe can help you learn about yourself with the most.
Do you want to learn about your genetics, your ancestry?
With more than
that might be the way to do it, everybody.
23andMe can give you insight about your health.
So if you'd like to,
feel like you can never quite get enough
you
sleep,
could go to 23andme.com/death battle.
Buy your own health and ancestry service kit today at 23andme.com.
Isn't that neat? You could do that if you wanted.
The number 23andme.com.
It's right there on the screen. Here's the link. There you go. Okay, here we go now for a death battle. Mega Man versus Mega Man versus Mega Man versus Mega Man versus Mega Man.
May be an icon by himself, but others have carried on his legacy.
Maybe another one.
Creating real immortality.
Immortality? Not on this show. Time to find out which Mega Man is the most mega of the men.
Do it.
There are many versions of the character to choose from. Not that one. This battle
is that an actual one?
5 most
5, good. Okay.
The classic era Mega Man.
Right.
Mega Man.exe.
Yes.
Volnut from the Legends series.
Battle Network.
Yeah, that one's cool.
And the Alien Star Force.
I think the Battle Network one has to be my favorite, at least aesthetically.
And it's our job to analyze their weapons, armor, and skills to find out who would win a death battle.
Yeah, do it.
In the year 20XX, the
I'm
brilliant
looking forward to
Dr.
this
Light
one, honestly,
would change history forever, developing machines with AI so advanced it mimicked actual life.
Whoa.
His goal was a world where robots and humankind could live together in trust and harmony.
I want all you
and how long it lasted.
That, because right off the bat, Light's partner Dr. Wily reprogrammed the bots and tried to take over the world. Just the first in a lifetime of dick moves.
To
a lifetime is
threat,
right.
Light upgraded one of his prototypes, Rock, into the original, the classic Mega Man.
Yeah.
Classic, huh? What's next? Diet Mega Man? Cherry Vanilla Mega Man? Mega
Would you
Man
be opposed?
To one of those, technically,
Mega Man
yes,
Zero.
But that's much later. Mega Man is armored with ultra-strong Ceratanium and comes equipped with the Mega Buster, a literal hand cannon for each arm.
While its
Each
normal
arm?
lemon
I
energy
didn't know
moves
each.
aren't too deadly, he can charge them up to tear through Robot Master ass like nothing.
Even though I hardly ever use it. I know it's bad. I know it's bad.
Fly. And I got him.
Mega
Good job,
Man's most
Boomstick.
notable tool is his variable weapon system, which allows him to copy the data of fallen enemies to gain their weapons as his own.
So now he can cut you down with the metal blade, light
Yeah.
you up with the napalm bomb, and burn you alive with
I didn't like
atomic
napalm
fire,
bomb.
which is twice as hot as the surface of the sun.
Oh.
He's basically got a tool for every occasion.
Sure, he can shield himself with the Skull Barrier,
That
reflect
sucks, though.
projectiles with the Mirror Buster, bypass armor with the Centaur Flash, stop time with the Time Stopper, and create localized singularities with the Black Hole Bomb.
In case this little blue buddy needs a boost, he can activate his double gear system, which is basically Roboroids. They jack up his power, his speed, or both at the same time.
Okay,
And
yeah.
with his robotic canine companion Rush, Mega Man can access his Super Adapter form, which grants him flight, a boost in power, and rocket-propelled punches.
Mega Man is strong enough to lift a 60,000
I remember that one.
tower. He's tough enough to survive the gravity of Jupiter, the heat of the sun, and absolute zero. Plus, he's fast enough to keep up with Quickman, who can dodge lightning and can get close to the speed of light.
Mega Man has battled
Gotcha.
over 100 Robot Masters and other robotic foes, including Sunstar, who was powerful enough to self-destruct and destroy the Wily Star, basically a small Death Star.
Okay.
With its size in mind, this would need energy equivalent to over 7 trillion megatons of TNT.
That does sound like a
Too bad
lot.
all that power runs on limited ammo, though.
Mega Man would carry the banner of peace across the world, fighting Wily's tyranny and spreading Dr. Light's dream of human-robot coexistence. And everyone lived happily ever after.
Aw,
Until
yay.
they didn't.
No! What?
The greatest creation of my career.
Well, there's the classic.
I will call him
And like,
Mega Man.
why does he have muscles? He's a robot. Why did they give him bulging muscles? It looks weird.
Flash forward 100 years when the archaeologist Dr. Kane happened upon a sleeping blue android hidden deep within a ruined laboratory.
How many years? I'm sorry.
Unlike the previous model, this android possessed free will indistinguishable from a human's. This wasn't Mega Man. This was Mega Man X.
I see.
This guy was built by the late Dr. Light to be better than the original Mega Man model in every way.
Well, that's
Aware
kind of
of the
harsh to
danger
Mega
that
Man
such a
Classic.
powerful android could be, Light locked him away in a capsule that ran tests on his morality for 30 years.
And what better way to match decades of good boy training than waking up to worldwide war?
Dr.
Yeah.
Kane began mass replication of X, but his process was imperfect. Many of these Reploid robots went maverick and embroiled the world in centuries-long warfare.
Despite being a pacifist, X felt obliged to step in and help. His go-to is his X-Buster, which can fire off single shots of condensed solar energy, or charge up several times over for even more power.
He also carries his partner Zero's Z-Saber, a
Yeah.
beam sword that can reflect projectiles and cut through nearly everything.
But he wouldn't be a true Mega Man without the ability to scan and copy other robots' weaponry.
He has copied countless elemental weapons that control fire, lightning, wind, water, and ice, as well as bombs, missiles, mines, drones, lasers, and force fields.
He
Right.
can shoot
What are the
out
stats
black
of those
holes,
powers?
turn invincible for a short time, and create a clone of himself, which I really wish I could do.
He can stop time and even resist similar effects when other robots try their own time stoppers.
But when he gets serious, he breaks out his ultimate armor.
Yeah.
It doubles his durability, gives him unlimited ammo, allows him to fly and attack with the Nova Strike move, and teaches him some super-powered moves like the Hadouken!
The Shoryuken.
and Shoryuken!
Yep.
Yeah, turns out Dr. Light was a fan of Street Fighter.
But
Who knew?
possibly his greatest ability is what the X in his name refers to. The X factor that is his limitless evolutionary potential.
Which
okay.
is your typical
I don't think I
anime
knew that.
bullshit. Powered by love or friendship or puppies or whatever.
Yay,
X was
puppies.
completely regenerated from near death and even reformed his whole body in only a few seconds
Oh.
from just his metal core.
With
Wow.
all his immense power, X has defeated dozens of Mavericks, including the General. The General once tanked a planet-destroying laser, the energy of which would require 57 quadrillion megatons of TNT. He can move fast
That's a
enough
lot,
to dodge
yeah.
Optic Sunflower's light-speed lasers and survive channeling enough energy through his body to annihilate all of Japan.
After years of fighting, he managed to destroy his arch enemy, the Sigma virus, with his most powerful weapon yet, the Mother Elf. AKA
What?
the latest thing to join our Hall of Fame of terrible, terrible names for awesome stuff.
The
Okay.
Mother Elf is like a
Yeah, I didn't
living
play that far.
antivirus software that can heal X's wounds, increase his power, and completely rewrite a Reploid's code, giving him complete control over cybernetic beings. That's how he defeated the Sigma virus, by erasing it from every Reploid in the world.
So he
all
has
at
control
once.
over that?
And the day
That's
was
pretty
finally
powerful.
saved. Well, until the Mother Elf was corrupted and the biggest war ever broke out all over again. But for the ultimate peacekeeper, X sure spent a lot of time kicking ass.
Yeah, sounds like it. Okay, well, so there was X. We're getting these rapid fire here. I guess you have to with 5 combatants. Well, I'm trying to keep
Thousands
everything
of years
straight.
later, the world
not
was
working
consumed
too
by
well.
a great flood. Humanity was all but extinct.
Oh
World
no.
got so shitty, the man in the sky himself had to step in and flush that thing.
All that remained on the planet was a race of artificial life forms known as carbons. But some of humanity survived in the orbital space station, the Elysium. This
Oh.
station housed the Master System, a computer program designed to control the carbons population on Earth. But over time, all the humans on board died. Except for
Of course.
one, the Master, and his
Oh.
assistant, a carbon known as Megaman Trigger.
Since the Carbons were basically the only humanoid life forms left in this super sad world, this last human figured they deserved free reign of the planet. So he told Trigger to destroy the Master System. Though I'm pretty sure Nintendo already did that.
Despite being a purifier unit designed to protect the Master System, Trigger obeyed.
But thanks to this chick Sarah, he got his robo-butt whooped hard, lost all his memories, and got turned into a baby.
Sealed away for years, he
Okay.
was eventually discovered by carbon diggers who named him Volnut. And thus began his journey to stop the Master System, battle pirates, and trigger his lost memories. See what I did there?
Yeah, I do
Wiz,
see. Good job,
Gotta
Wiz.
talk about something you said there. Why did they name him Volnut? What a dumb name! The only thing dumber than that name was that stupid pun that you made. Well, to save the day, Volnut has, surprise, surprise, the Mega Buster, and he
Yeah.
can switch out his right arm for a bunch of special weapons like a machine gun, a spread gun, homing missiles, grenades, mines, a sword, a reflector shield, and his most powerful weapon of all,
Huh?
a shining laser.
Oh.
It's a laser that shines
Beautiful.
a lot. It's good.
He wears armor which lets him hover for extra speed, and also shields that can make him briefly invulnerable and invincible.
That's it? No stopping time or farting black holes out of his butt? I guess it's not that bad.
Well, most of these weapons pull from the same energy source rather than separate pools, and they each need to be swapped out manually.
Ah.
Yep.
Yeah, he's
Starting
gonna
to
lose.
think we found Diet Mega Man.
Don't underestimate him. Volnut is a charming hero with a lot of power.
Oh, good, he's
He can lift
charming.
9.5-ton stone blocks, move fast enough to evade meteors, which re-enter Earth's atmosphere at Mach 33, and even tank them head-on. That's a kinetic energy equivalent to 38 tons of TNT. He's defeated scores of giant mechs and even Sarah in a rematch for the ages. All in a day's work for Mega Man Volnut.
Maybe I'm just
Don't worry,
misunderstanding
Nina.
some things, but no, I still think this dude
I
has like the
don't roll.
worst stuff so far.
She'll come looking for us.
All of the energy being in the same pool, having to manually change out. Sorry if that scene was really
Whoa,
cute,
whoa,
I just
whoa,
wasn't.
whoa. Don't try and pull that happily ever after crap. Humanity went extinct, the planet is flooded, and the last Mega Man is stuck in space forever because Legends 3 is never gonna happen. That
Oh,
peaceful
no.
future Dr. Light fought so hard for turned out to be total bullshit. And if you think about it, it's all his fault. Love and peace are lies, God is dead, and we're all totally...
Really passionate
Maybe
about
in this
this.
timeline, but luckily, there is another.
Like a different Mega Man, right? Not Volnut.
Let's go all the way back to the year 20XX.
Okay, yeah.
Imagine, instead of revolutionizing
Yeah!
science with robotics,
Yeah, this
Thomas
stuff.
Light focused on computer sciences and created a world dominated by the internet and digital AI. Oh, and his name was also Tadashi Hikari.
Yeah.
Oh, great. The
'Cause,
AI
yeah.
Overlord timeline. Hey, Siri, please don't kill everyone
Ooh.
and take over the world.
I didn't
They were doing
catch
Braille
that
there.
stick.
Oh, God, it's already
Weren't they?
happening.
Like, did I miss it? Anyway.
The internet infrastructure Hikari worked on was so complex, it became its own separate universe known as the Cyber World. This unpredictable digital universe was managed by sentient computer programs called NetNavies.
Reminds me of those digital Pokemon. What are those called again?
Hikari had a grandson named Lan. Yes, that's really his name. And Lan had one of the best net navies around. megaman.exe.
Yeah.
Together, they became the most
Seeing this
successful
stuff's making me all
virus-busting duo
nostalgic.
in both the real and cyber worlds, and saved both countless times.
I was not
EXE
listening, crap.
can shoot foes down with his regular or charge shots with his, yes, you guessed it, Mega Buster. He can fly with his Mega Booster and cook the shit out of a Thanksgiving Day turkey with his Mega Baster.
Ah.
Okay, maybe he doesn't have that left.
His true strength, however, lies in Lan's enormous collection of battle chips, which contain a variety of different weapons and tools for EXE to use. He has over 1,500 of these.
You know the drill.
You know,
by
you still have
now.
to find
You
them and
got
then put them in, but yeah.
shotguns, spread guns, mini bombs, big bombs, time bombs, shockwaves, earthquakes, meteor swords, kunai boomerangs, and an incredibly deadly yo-yo.
That doesn't even scratch the surface. He can create black holes, move objects with telekinesis, turn intangible and invisible, dispel force fields, resist having his data assimilated, uninstall customized programs and weapons data in enemies, and use Gigafreeze to put programs and even the whole internet in stasis.
That why my internet went down last night? I might have to break out boomstick.exe and kick his ass. How do I Alt F4 this little bastard?
Good luck getting past EXE's defenses. His dark aura is a barrier so tough, it could survive the end of the entire cyber world.
How,
and since
though?
EXE is a
How
digital
does that
program, not an organic being, he survived being impaled, losing limbs, and even being blown to bits before pulling himself back together.
Wait a minute, if he's just a program like you said, can he even fight in the real world like other super fighting robots?
He's done so before. He can enter the real world through special dimensional areas, or through sheer power output alone. He can even merge body and mind with Lan using full synchronization, a technique only possible if both beings have a strong mental bond.
Fusion ha! Well, turns out EXE and Lan are super close because, plot twist, EXE is Lan's stillborn dead baby brother turned into a computer program.
Oh.
Wow.
Yeah, well, when they bond perfectly, they enter hub form, a state powerful enough to defeat Nebula Gray and the Dark Galaxy universe with just a wave of his hand.
EXE is tough enough to survive a planet-sized Psybeast exploding. That's a blast worth over 14 septillion megatons of TNT.
He's quick
Big
enough
numbers.
to search practically the entire cyber world in less than a minute, and powerful enough to absorb and recreate the same cyber world in a single move. And after all of that, Lan retired from virus busting to become a scientist whose research would play a part in the next generation of Mega Man.
Well, good for
Pretty
you.
impressive for a guy who spends all his time jacking off.
Well,
I'm sorry, Wizzy. We had to work that in.
I understand.
I don't know how I feel about his feats, though. Like, a lot of it seem powerful, but it's digital. How does that compare to
200
You know,
years
reality
later, the world had yet
stuff.
again progressed, this time with the advent and proliferation of electromagnetic, or EM, wave technology, which is a
okay.
fancy way of saying they switched their main resource from internet cyberspace to basic radio waves.
Well,
Okay.
at least radio waves will never try to take over the world and commit genocide.
Well-
Oh, you say that now. This is Geostellar, the son of astronaut Kelvin Stellar. Oh, okay, first Lan, now Kelvin. These names are killing me. But anyway, Kelvin got lost in space after being attacked and captured by a race of aliens made of electromagnetic waves known as Femians. Like
Yeah,
FM
right, I know,
radio
yeah,
aliens.
yes.
Femians.
Ugh. Luckily for Kelvin, he made friends with an EM alien kitty thing named Omega Zis, who
That
tried
is
to help him
fortunate.
escape by zapping him into radio waves. It wasn't the best idea ever, but eventually Omega and Geo met up and merged together to become Star Force Mega Man.
That's
And
weird,
with
but
this
okay.
transformation, Geo acquired and amplified all of Omega's EM powers. Namely, as a being composed of EM waves, he's effectively invisible and intangible.
Oh,
We passed right through.
We're EM waves, remember?
Though the latter usually requires conscious thought to activate. He can also fly, teleport, survive in space, turn living beings into EM waves, and manipulate data itself to control other machines from the inside out.
Remember when Mega Man used to just be a cute little robot? Now he's a radio alien cat fusion thing.
Okay,
Well,
yeah.
At least he still has the Mega Buster, which does exactly what it did the last 4 times. Moving on.
Actually, this Mega Buster is a bit different. Not only does it charge automatically when not in use, it can be modified with different wizard equips, no relation, to change its power, speed, and status effects.
It would have been a lot better if it had boomstick equips.
Well, I'm sure there's something boomstick related in Geo's nearly 600 battle cards.
Right, more
which
battle
provides
cards,
Star Force
yeah.
Mega Man with numerous special weapons.
He's got guns, swords, hammers, axes, scythes, bombs, missiles, lasers, meteors, shockwaves, a crap ton of elemental attacks, and when all
There's
else
so
fails,
much to
he can
think
just
about.
use his bare hands.
He can paralyze foes, drain their health, summon black holes, turn invincible, heal wounds, create force fields, summon other EM beings for special attacks, and control noise.
Control noise?
Yeah.
So like, when my neighbor plays music really loud, he can just turn it off with his mind?
No, but I thought you lived in a trailer in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, man. Animals are getting smarter.
Right. Noise is excess energy created by EM beings, kind of like static. When utilized properly, it can cause machinery malfunction similar to an EMP, drive EM beings insane, and, if he absorbs enough of it, allow Geo and Omega to change into even more powerful forms.
Okay.
His greatest form is Red Joker, which can fire the Red Gaia Erasure, a huge laser that'll reduce your body to EM particles and shoot them across the atmosphere.
While you're still conscious.
Talk about one hell of a way to go.
With all these powers and more, Geo and Omega have the resume to match. They've defeated dozens of enemies, including Sirius,
Ha! We got her!
who was powerful enough to move a black hole hundreds of millions of miles in a single day. The black hole in question was Sagittarius A, which has a mass 4 million times greater than the Sun. Factoring in its mass and the speed it traveled, we can get a kinetic energy of 4.6 decillion megatons of TNT. Enough to obliterate a solar system.
Then Star Force survived inside of that black hole like it was nothing. And since he's made of radio waves, he's as fast as light.
Though some other EM beings were able to fly from the center of the Milky Way galaxy to Earth in only 3 days. That's over 3 million times the speed of light.
Star Force even fought EXE once. He technically lost, but he was just holding back to make sure he didn't Marty McFly the future away.
Out of all his accomplishments, his greatest feat was one that no other Mega Man up until that point had achieved. This world, and this timeline, actually turned out pretty great.
Oh, hey, look at
Thanks to
that.
Star Force Mega Man.
Okay, well, good for them. Okay, now we're done.
All right, the combatants are set.
Phew.
We've run the data through all possibilities.
But first, I need a mega meal.
We're gonna
from
skip
Blue
this
Apron.
commercial. It's time for a death battle and pause. All right, so prediction time. This is really hard for me, honestly. They were all pretty powerful except for Volnut. Volnut kind of sucked. I'm sorry. But ultimately, I feel like in the end, I have to go with the last dude, the Mega Man Star Cat Dragon Force 1. Whatever his name was. I mean, because it seemed like he actually did have some really impressive durability feats. I mean, just looking at the black hole thing, it's, from what I recalled of the forces, it seemed like that was the largest force that any of them had been able to tank themselves. And not only did he tank it, but supposedly it was as though it was nothing. Now, if they come back and be like, well, it was just because he was actually in, like, another dimension, or whatever, like, I'm gonna be annoyed. But that was just, it seemed super impressive. He also seemed like the only one who... Okay, well, the only one who they explicitly said could move at the speed of light. The other ones, they, like, fought people who moved around the speed of light or something like that. But nothing as explicit as far as I recall them mentioning. So it seems like he's the most durable based on that. It seems like he's the fastest based on that. I don't think he had anything to counter time stopping, but that was only brief. And, you know, given his durability, I would think that he might be able to, like, tank some things, before the time stop could run out again. And while he doesn't have the most powerful attacks himself, it didn't seem like, I don't think his cards are anything that great. The fact that he can go, like, invisible and intangible too, like others, I'm aware, but that he could turn other beings into EM waves, I believe it was, or EM beings or whatever, that he, with enough noise, that static generated by the beings, that he could essentially create an EMP. And crap, was it him or the Battle Network one, they could, like, reprogram AI or whatever, that kind of thing. I don't know. So I'm thinking that he's going to win. I think that the next top one would probably be megaman.exe, largely considering, again, like, the mother, whatever, the program rewriting one, whatever that one was, you know? I think that that is a huge thing, but he also has, you know, the ability to create black holes. He also has the time stopping. I don't remember if he had any invisibility or intangibility, but he also had, you know, great durability we got to see. He had a wide variety of weapons as well. Like, all of the Mega Man have a lot of versatility within their skill sets, so I think it largely comes down to, you know, like, their durability and overall survivability, which, you know, that falls together, but you know what I mean, maybe. After that, honestly, I'm not sure about, like, between classic Mega Man and Mega Man, like, from the Battle Network, megaman.exe, because megaman.exe had a lot of really powerful things, it seemed, but it all seemed to be within the, like, the data universe, you know, online in the cyber world, and they did say that he could be, like, outside of that, but does his power scale back if he's in the real world? How does that work? Because if he was in the real world with the same power, he would, like, destroy the planet. Wouldn't he? Like, how would... I mean, maybe that's a little too logical to be putting that in there. But, yeah, and I just don't think the Volna is gonna do it. But Mega Man Classic, on the other hand, again, you know, like, time-stopping, black holes, super strength that we got to see with him, like, holding on the fortress, super durability, that kind of thing. So, yes, I think that it's going to be Mega Man Star Force, or whatever his name is, that's going to win, and then Mega Man X. Not that it matters from there. Then I'm not sure about Classic or EXE, but I think one of them. And I think Volnut is just going to lose pretty much flat out. So, Mega Man Star Force Cat Dragon thing, go! Fingers are crossed. Even though my favorite is EXE out of them, based upon my own nostalgia. Hey, everybody. Alright, disappointed in the lack of story, but whatever, we'll go with it. They could have done something cool involving Wily and Sigma and stuff like that, you know? Bring up some sort of suspicion between the Mega Man, but it's just they appeared. Yeah, kill him! Ow! The look on his face was pain! Oh, we don't even get to see. Where's Volna during all of this? Did I just miss him? Ow! My body! Hey, look who it is. I think that's him. Oh no! My face! Oh. Did he combine with it? I don't remember that being a thing. Is that in 6? I'll be getting to that soon. Hey guys, I'm here too! Oh no, black hole! Oh! Well, there he goes. They're not having a good day, these Mega Men. Ah, he's fine. He looks okay. That's a big gun. Oh no! Well, there goes that. So, is he an EM thing? Whatever it was called. That's a cool shot. How you feeling?
Whoa! I
Wait.
was sure X or Star Force had
Wait.
this one in the bag.
Surprisingly,
I
this
didn't-
battle's victory
I didn't see
was
the others
fairly
die.
clear-cut. While the original 3 Mega Men had many impressive
I thought I
feats,
only just
they
saw
were
one die.
all outclassed by EXE and Star Force's cosmic level feats.
And poor Walnut couldn't keep up with any of them. Even Classic had a leg up with his huge variety of weapons, but his limited ammunition meant he would never last too long. Plus, X was designed to surpass him in every way.
Yeah.
X's Mother Elf may have rewritten the code of the Reploids in his time, but both EXE and Star Force were much more powerful data beings who have resisted similar rewriting before. In particular, Star Force's noise manipulation gave him a huge advantage over the Mother Elf, which we know to be fairly vulnerable to corruption.
But I know what you're thinking. Star Force is 200 years ahead of EXE. Shouldn't his tech be way better? He even held back in their cannon fight. That's, to clarify, a cannon and story, not they were both using their cannons.
True,
Okay.
but so did EXE. Neither were fighting at their full potential, as made evident by their other feats. At
I have to
best,
wait until
Star
this
Force
point, by the
may
way,
move 3
to know
million
who
times the
won.
speed of
I
light,
couldn't tell
but
who
EXE
won until
was
now.
fast enough to search the whole cyberworld universe in a brief period of time, and powerful enough to later destroy it in its entirety.
And the cyber world isn't just a hard drive with some gigabytes. It's a universe with stars and galaxies and the whole shebang.
To clock EXE's speed, we first need to find the volume of EXE's field of view compared to the volume of the observable universe. With
Okay,
that, we can
easy.
determine the number of passes EXE made across its diameter in order to search everywhere. While the manga doesn't give an exact time frame, the situation EXE is in is dire. His ally, Base.exe, is on death's door. So Mega Man's solution is to zoom around the universe as fast as possible until he happens upon some tool or weapon that can help.
Till he happens upon
Doesn't
it.
sound like it should work. But it does. And
Okay.
he couldn't have been gone for more than a minute. Her base would have been done for.
So with that in mind, EXE must have been traveling over 3 novemdecillion times the speed of light. That's 60 zeros long.
Well,
Yeah,
I'm pretty
I don't
sure we just
remember
set a
that
new
mentioned
record
at
for
all
highest number
in
ever on this show.
the data,
You know,
but
I think so. And it also goes without saying that while Star Force's solar system level black hole feat was impressive, EXE destroying an entire universe is far superior. About 200 quintillion times more, if you're curious.
Don't forget that EXE's arsenal of battle chips is much larger than Geo's collection of battle cards. Also, EXE could have just used chips like Uninstall, Interrupt, and Catcher to disable all the other Mega Man's weapons and programs whenever he wanted.
Well, except for Volnut, ironically, because his weapons were manual rather than programmed.
You got one, buddy.
All the Mega Men are good at what they do, but at the end of the day, EXE had the speed, power, and the tools needed to be the best super fighting robot.
well, he was my favorite, so I'll
Battle
take it.
totally rocked. Man.
The winner is megaman.exe.
Yay! Claps for megaman.exe. And now,
Thanks for watching this episode. If you want the battle music for yourself, you can get it by clicking the link below.
Or you can check out exclusive commentary on this episode or another video by clicking right over there.
oh, next time on Death Battle. Oh, okay. Yeah, so we got Widowmaker versus Black Widow. Dope. I'll take it. I like Widowmaker. I mean, I like Black Widow too, but I like Widowmaker more, if I'm being real. Anyway, so let's talk about this death battle. So first and foremost, I want to say that I really liked it. I thought it was really good. It was a lot of fun. I think though that it. Well, I mean, okay, so that was the good wrapped up in one nutshell. It was really good, and I really liked it. Cool. Now let's talk about some other things. So, obviously, I got really lost during a lot of the fight. At the very end, I thought that I had only seen one Mega Man die. And then at the very, very end, I wasn't sure whether it was Star Force Mega Man who had won or Mega Man EXE who had won. I couldn't tell them apart. And I know that that's largely on me, but I think there also could have been some clarification done. Because, well, here's a good thing and a bad thing. So one of the things that I liked about this death battle was we actually got to see some kind of states of distress and damage and stuff like that, you know? Like classic Mega Man gripping onto X, I believe it was. Like, you could tell he was not having a good day, you know? He was battered and bruised, you know? And other people, like, their visors, I think, were cracked and stuff. But it also, in some ways, for me, being on, like, 4 hours of sleep, and not being super familiar with these characters, it made them a little harder to distinguish sometimes too, when more identifiable features were then kind of changed. Again, I like that fact. And so I'm not saying it was bad, necessarily, that it made it harder for me. I'm blaming myself, I'm just kind of, I guess, offering an explanation. Stream of consciousness thought, everybody. I am glad for what they did at the conclusion, I mean, how they explain things in the conclusion. However, I do think that they were a little bit unclear, and again, a little bit misleading during their analyses. And again, I like this death battle. I did get it wrong, but I'm still satisfied with the winner. It was my favorite of the 5 after all. But saying that, like, you know, with Mega Man X, the thing that recoded stuff, like, they mentioned that in the death battle, and that was it, you know? Recoded everything. Then to say, like, later on, it's like, well, that's true, but these guys are well into the future, and so that wouldn't have mattered. You know, I feel like that's a little bit cheap. I trust you guys, you know, the death battle people, for my information as far as determining who the victor might be. And so to say, like, one thing and then to be like, well, it doesn't actually matter. A little weak, you know, that kind of thing. Unless you're familiar with the games, and this is true with a lot of death battles, unless you're familiar with the source, you're gonna miss out on a lot of the details. And even though I did play one of the Battle Network games, you know, again, a long time ago, many years ago, I just did not remember what that kind of stuff was capable of. But I think my biggest reasoning, or the biggest reason that I put Mega Man EXE as low as I did, you know, being like tied for 3rd place kind of in my mind, was because I did think he was really, really powerful, but against living things, like, I don't know, you know? Because all of his stuff was in a digital realm. Again, they did say that he could go into a physical realm, but that was different. And so I don't know how he would actually fare, like how that conversion would go between, like, digital stuff and real stuff. Like, did the digital world, did cyber world, you know, was it an actual universe? Yes, you know? Like, it was. But does that mean that it's the same as our universe? That it can be understood the same as our universe, you know? Because, like, if we're talking about a digital world, you don't necessarily need force in order to undo something. I could undo, like, an entire digital world if I opened up, like, the source, hit Control A and backspace, you know? Or maybe I don't understand at all what I'm talking about, and that is perfectly valid too. But in my mind, that's just how I have to think, where it's like, they're not exactly, like, they're not comparable exactly in that sense, or at least they're not necessarily comparable. They totally could be, but necessarily no. And my issue was that I didn't have the understanding, I wasn't able to achieve that from the analyses, that they were indeed comparable, that, like, similar forces would be needed to destroy a universe, the cyber world, that similar speeds would take effect if you were to search the whole universe. And also, with that speed thing with Mega Man EXE, did they actually talk about him searching the entire cyber world, like the universe of it? Because I don't remember that at all. Maybe it was when I was talking, or maybe it just didn't mean anything to me at the time, but I certainly didn't recall that when they were talking about it in the conclusion. As far as other things go, yeah, it makes sense to me. I put Mega Man X above Classic because Mega Man X had a lot of the same things, but he also had more. You know, he had the suit, and there was just the whole point where Mega Man X was specifically built to be superior to Mega Man Classic, so it made sense to me. Volnot being in the very bottom absolutely made sense to me. I called that one just during the analysis, like his analysis. It was really just, you know, Mega Man Star Force, he seemed, you know, to have that kind of cosmic power in the physical world, where I wasn't sure about EXE in the physical world. So that's basically where it was for me. So I'm glad that I was almost correct in having the Star Force one again, assuming that's his name and I'm not forgetting it again. I'm glad that I had him as my first and he won second in this. Right? He did, right? Right? Because I couldn't tell what was going on in the fight. So, you know, overall I am satisfied. I do think there were some issues with the analyses, with the conclusion, that kind of thing. Maybe with some reasoning, but I definitely don't have enough to back that kind of thing up or to make any sort of, you know, valid, sound argument. So I'm gonna leave that stuff be. To focus on the animation, aside from, again, it being, like, it was really cool, but it was also cluttered, and I couldn't tell at least, but I am not the most observant, I am not the most astute. You guys probably were totally fine keeping up. I simply was not. But I also feel like the sound design was a little bit lacking. You know, they had good music, they had good, like, sound effects and everything, but I guess I kind of just wish I had some reactions from the Mega Men themselves. I understand that that might be a little bit difficult, especially when you have 5 different characters, and it might seem like it would clutter things up even more, but it would have added more impact, you know? I really appreciated the kind of emotion that we got to see with the characters during the fight. You know, again, when they're weak, you got to see them be weak. When they were scared, you got to see them be scared, that kind of thing. But, you know, just some, like, grunts, some gasps, some shouts, you know, things like that. I think that would have contributed to the battle a fair bit. Again, obviously, it's difficult. It's a completely, you know, additional step. But I think it would have contributed in a positive manner. Also, regarding giving them voices in the death battle, I totally would be fine if they only gave voices to the Mega Man who actually, like, canonically have voices. Like, classic Mega Man, I don't think he's ever spoken. That's fine to leave him mute. That's kind of cool, actually. Consistency. Regarding the animation, again, I already talked about, you know, like, the emotions and stuff. Those I thought were really well done. I thought the pacing overall was pretty well done, though I don't know if I can really say that when I didn't even know that they had all died until the battle was over. So go me. But as far as, like, you know, the scene changes, the camera angles, the little effects like that, you know, I thought that those were really cool and really well done, and I thought that it helped to, you know, create a nice flow to the story. Though I say story loosely, because again, to my disappointment, they all kind of just showed up and started fighting. I think it could have been really cool if it had instead been something to do with, you know, like Wily and Sigma and whatever other recurring villains may have appeared. You know, if there was some sort of ploy that made the Mega Men all fight, you know, where it's like, because they just didn't have a reason for it, as far as I saw. They didn't have a reason for it, and it was obviously disappointing to me. It's not going to be disappointing to everyone. I'm well aware that I'm pretty much one of the only people who actually cares about having a story, but to me, it makes the fight more real, you know? It gives me more of a reason to be invested in it when there's a reason the characters are fighting, and I have a reason to actually, like, root for people, aside from just wanting to see someone get their head blown off, you know? Because that's not for everyone. It's not for me. That's why, like, you know, DBX, that kind of thing, it's not really my cup of tea, because it's just fighting, typically. Maybe there is actually a story in there, but I also like the analyses portions quite a bit. In fact, I would just watch, like, analyses portions of characters. Anyway, I actually don't think I have much more to say on that matter. I really like this death battle overall. I thought that the animation was really well done. You know, like, the fight itself, I thought it was really well done, well executed. There were a few things that I would change, and, you know, I might well watch it again just to try to see, like, where things actually happened, considering how behind I apparently was in that fight. I thought that it was, you know, cool how they showed off the different Mega Man skills and how they actually were able to, like, combat or negate, you know, that kind of thing, their opponents. And I just wish, I guess, things were a little clearer to me during the analyses portion, but I always wish that things were a little clearer. People always rant at me about how, like, you know, well, if they were upfront about things, then it wouldn't be entertaining because it would be obvious. I disagree. I disagree with that. I don't think things would be obvious if they actually gave all of the facts. I mean, every death battle, people fight. Okay, well, that's obvious. Every death battle, people in the comments fight about who is actually the winner, you know? Death battle announced, like, the winner is megaman.exe. Undoubtedly, people are going to, you know, claim that this person, this Mega Man, was actually supposed to be the victor, that this Mega Man was actually the victor, that Death Battle forgot this feat, that Death Battle, you know, lowballed this person. There's always going to be that. And so, no, I don't think that if Death Battle actually was a little more straightforward with the feats and such, that the results of the Death Battles would be obvious. So to everyone who makes that complaint, I think you're wrong. And I think that you should stop. I hope you have a wonderful day. But I'm right. So anyway, let me know what you thought about this death battle in the comments below, whether you liked it, whether you disliked it, what you thought about this or that, etc., so on and so forth. And let me know what you think about the next time we have Black Widow versus Widowmaker, Marvel versus Overwatch. So thank you guys again for watching. If you'd like to see me play the Mega Man games, the classic ones, I am currently doing that on my Grestar Let's Play channel. Again, link in the description below. I'd be happy to have you there. But with that, we're calling it here. Cue outro, go!